Wholesalers, you've gotten spoiled. I mean, like teenager brat level spoiled. Okay. I can clearly see who's been wholesaling going back to 2020, 2021, 2022, the years where PPL was just getting started. The majority of us were still heavy in the cold calling, SMS, direct mail, those types of lead generation. Now PPL's come around and really taken away the need for wholesalers to mine to find the motivated sellers. And when I mean mine, I mean like gold mine, where we're going out, we're trying to figure out who is a motivated seller. See, back in the day, we had to make assumptions. We would go pull lists, and then we would think that like financial, pre-foreclosure, tax delinquency, inheriting a property, things like that would be reasons as to why someone would want to sell a property for a discount. And then we would have to reach out to them, and we would have to get creative and be relentless in following up with them to get just in touch to ask them the first question in the closer's formula. Do you have a property that you want to sell? And realistically, when they said yes, it was such a monumental moment for us that it was hard to even focus on closing at that point because we were just excited. We finally found someone that said yes. They didn't ask me questions like, how'd you get my number? What does skip tracing mean? What do you mean I'm an absentee owner? I'm not absentee. These are the things that we were dealing with back in 2020. Now, when I say you're spoiled, it's because I can clearly tell that none of you have ever received a voicemail like this.
Quit calling 719 and quit texting it. This is bull. There's no Connie M here. There never has been. There never will be. Now leave me the alone. If you were in front of me now, I'd break your jaw.
So Bob calls me and he threatens me through a voicemail, right? Now, this was funny and it was a little bit over the top. However, this was happening on a daily basis. This is where the emotional toll that what we were doing on the lead generation side would really weigh heavy. And I could see it. I always talk about the difference between the two 50-50-50 challenges. I did one in 2020 and I did another one in 2023. I talk about the one in 2020. I looked like I ran a presidential candidacy. Like I literally, day 1 to day 50, you could almost see me aging in the process, how tired I looked on day 50. And I went for 13 hours straight on day 50 to try to get all 50 states. We got up to 49, but Utah held strong. But I looked tired. I was exhausted. It wasn't from the work. It was from those types of voicemails and these types of conversations right here.
This is RJ.
Texted me about coming to look at my house, and I have no idea who you are.
My name is RJ Bates, and I'm a real estate investor, and I was reaching out to see if you were interested in selling that property.
And how do you get my cell phone?
I skip traced it.
Is that legal to do? Hopefully it is for your case, because I'm going to call the police right now.
Yeah, anybody can do it. It costs me 12 cents. It's also on public records. Anybody can look up your phone number. It's just a text message, man.
Cell phone number?
Yeah, public information,
I
dude.
would prefer you not do that for me. You can do it for whoever else you want.
Now, I can't imagine a scenario where a PPL lead leads to a seller asking, how'd you get my information? I hope it was legal. I'm going to call the cops on you. Now, that person didn't actually call the cops. But when you have to have that type of conversation over and over and over again on a daily basis, it really starts to wear on you. And what ends up happening is when you do talk to a seller that is truly motivated, that has a scenario where you need to be their solution, it's hard to really stay dialed in. This is what I mean by wholesalers are spoiled nowadays. We're complaining about PPL. We're complaining about not refunding for different scenarios. And I get it. They have refund policies and we want to get our money back. We should. But we should also be grateful for the opportunity that exists in front of us in 2025 where we just don't have to deal with scenarios like this one.
Hello, this is RJ.
How in the hell did you get my number?
It's called skip tracing. So I can take the address and just plug in the address and it gives me your phone number. Cost me 12 cents.
So basically, you're a robocall.
No, it doesn't call you. It just gives me your phone number and then I can either call you or text you.
Basically, it's a robocall.
Sure.
Now, those are 3 short examples of kind of off the wall conversations that I had back in 2020. All right. And listen, I'm sure you guys have had some crazy conversations as well. But for those of you that are new to this game, the point in today's video is embrace the opportunity that exists. The reason why I'm saying we are in the golden age of wholesaling is because we don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to go out and mine for these leads. And when I say the cost is about the same, I'm speaking from experience. We were spending a significant amount of money on data, right? We were having to pull these lists. We were having to skip trace these lists. We were having to send SMS text messages, which each one of those costs us money, as well as on virtual assistants, dialers, and making sure that that data was refreshed so we could cold call. And I don't even want to get into the expense of direct mail. If you've ever done that, you know how expensive that can be. So from a financial aspect, we're roughly about the same, if not more affordable if you do PPL correctly, but also just the emotional expense, right? Not having to deal with conversations that really make you feel like you're a bad human being. And all I was trying to do was run my business. I was trying to find people that needed my solution. That's all I was trying to do. However, I'm getting cussed out. I'm getting told, I'm getting threatened. I'm getting told that the cops are going to be called. I'm being told that I'm a robo dialer. You know, all these ridiculous things. It just takes a toll on you. Now, here's a longer form conversation where, quite frankly, I just didn't know how to handle it. Because when we would go pull the list, right, there are triggers that we're hoping that lead to motivation and our solution, right? These sellers need our help. However, in this scenario, this property was inherited and there was financial distress elements. They just weren't in a place to sell yet emotionally. And because of us reaching out and mining for that lead, it triggered this seller to have a highly emotional conversation. And I still look back at this and I go, I probably could have handled it better. But realistically, knowing that I was going from getting told that someone would break my jaw to the cops calling me to the next thing you know, a seller screaming, let me grieve, it takes a huge toll on you emotionally. So I give myself a little bit of grace in saying, yeah, I probably didn't handle the situation perfectly, but I don't know many people that could when they were doing this as consistent as I was day in and day out.
Hello, this is RJ.
What do you want? Who are you and what do you want? You texted me. What do you want?
Oh, you sound like you're having a fantastic today. Are you having a good Tuesday?
I am. It's my birthday and I'm in the middle of something else. So what do you want? Why are you calling me and who are you?
Well, happy birthday. Is it lucky number 29 for you?
No, it's not. Who are you and what do you want? Do you want to buy my house? Is that what you're calling? Because you buy ugly houses?
I do buy ugly houses, but I buy pretty houses too. But I was reaching out to see if you had a property that you wanted to sell.
I don't. But you have $5 million?
I do have $5 million, but I'm probably not going to spend it on one property.
Oh, well, then I guess you don't want to buy mine because mine's worth $5 million or more. So I guess you don't. So don't text me. Don't call me.
So that's an example of me not getting a contract during a highly emotional conversation. But again, the theory was with us pulling these lists, we were reaching out to sellers that needed our solution. And even though the conversations could be very intense and emotionally distraught, sometimes our theory was correct. So in the last call that you're going to listen to here, this is one that I've used time and time again inside of the titanium crucibles, the closers formulas, any of our live events, because it shows that sometimes when the data shows you enough information, you have to be firm in your belief that you can be a solution for this seller. So in this one, I actually sent a text message to this man's deceased wife. Now, I didn't know that the wife was deceased. This list that I pulled was actually financial distress. He was facing foreclosure and was going to lose his property, but his wife had passed away, and the text message was sent to her, and he received that text message. And that triggered him, and I completely understand why that triggered him. However, I was able to get him back on the phone, and we were able to do a deal. So this is my cussed out to a contract conversation. Hello, this is RJ.
Yeah. Got the information about that. Look at the house. But here's the deal. She's dead. She never talked to you. You're an ignorant mother.
Let's call him back.
Cool.
Hey, it's that ignorant mother. So how come you call and you cuss me out, and then you don't let me to respond?
Thanks, Debbie, for the information about your house. And she's been dead for over 2 years. Okay, so she never sent you no information.
I understood, dude. I get it. My grandmother passed away. My dad's passed away. I've lost loved ones as well, and I understand that that's a trigger for you. And I apologize about that. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers. The reason why I can't just ask you the question is because the carriers mark us as spam if I ask that question. There's certain words I can't use, like house or for sale or things like that. So I have to come up with templates like that. So obviously it triggered you, and that's terrible incidents here. It could have very easily just been like, hey, did you get my voicemail, or hey, did you get my letter? But unfortunately, it sent the wrong one. But at the end of the day, I still might be someone that could help you out if you're looking to sell a property.
A few moments later.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Hey, sorry I lost control of myself, bud.
No worries, man. Hey, maybe it'll be a cool story where we can tell everybody how we first met.
Right, yeah. Guy cussed me off for the chat.
You can forevermore just call me ignorant motherfucker, okay?
Nah, dude.
Pretty crazy scenario right there. Having to double dial him, get him back on the phone, use some pretty foul language, but we were able to do a deal, and we were able to be that gentleman's solution. Now, the reason why I'm sharing all this with you guys is because I see the questions and the comments inside of our free Facebook group, the Vault. I get DMs from you guys. Hey, speed to lead. I'm not getting any deals. I'm not getting anything from Lead Zolo. But here's the thing. Back in 2020 and 2021, it was, what list should I be pulling on batch leads and prop stream? And I'm getting cussed out, and I'm emotionally spent from these types of conversations. So now with the new wave of wholesalers coming in, yeah, I'm going to sound like a little bit of an old head here. But here's the facts. Don't be spoiled. Embrace the opportunity that exists in front of you to have a great conversation where the person who has a deceased wife and is facing foreclosure reaches out to you. So it's not an emotionally charged conversation where they cuss you out and call you an ignorant MFer. That is, it takes a toll on you, right? It's hard to go home at night, and when your kids say, how was work? Oh, it was great. A dude told me that, he's going to break my jaw and then call the cops on me. But I got a couple of contracts. It's a lot easier when they raise their hand and they come to us and say, my wife passed away and I'm facing foreclosure because I don't have her income anymore and the house is too big and I can't afford it. Will you buy my house? That's what happens today. That's what the PPO providers bring to us, is people that raise their hand and are not upset with us because we're reaching out. Yeah, every now and then do they get upset because we reach out and we're relentless in our follow-up and text message? Sure, but not like back in the day. So embrace this opportunity that exists. Be grateful for the opportunity that exists. And don't sound like a spoiled brat complaining about refunds not good leads. Their job is just to find sellers to raise their hand and say, I have a house that I need to sell. Be grateful that that exists in 2025. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you give me a like on this video. We'll see y'all tomorrow.